English podcast Easy Practice. Improve your English.
So, what did you do this weekend?
Man, this weekend felt different. And not because I did something crazy, but because I actually paid attention to what I was doing.
What do you mean?
Like, usually, weekends just pass. You know, you wake up late, you check your phone, you waste time, and suddenly it's Sunday night. But this time I remember everything, step by step.
All right, I like that. Start from the beginning.
Okay, so Friday night, I got home around 7:30 p.m. I was tired, not just physically, mentally too. Work was a lot that day. At first, I thought about going out. I even checked my phone, saw some messages from friends. They were like, "Hey, we are going out tonight." And for a moment, I was like, maybe I should go. But then I stopped and asked myself, do I actually want to go? Or do I just feel like I should go? And the answer was clear. I didn't want to go. I just felt pressure. So I said no. And honestly, that already made me feel better. I got home, changed my clothes, and just sat down for a minute. No TV, no phone, just sitting. And I could feel how tired I was. Then I went to the kitchen. I didn't want to order food, so I cooked something simple: rice, eggs, and a little chicken, I remember. Nothing special, but it felt good to cook. While I was cooking, I played some music, not loud, just something calm. And that moment felt slow in a good way. I liked it. After I ate, I didn't do too much. I watched maybe one or two videos, but not for hours. Then I went to bed around 10:30, and that's early for me. So Saturday started different, very different. I woke up around 7:30 without an alarm, and the first thing I noticed was I didn't feel heavy. You know that feeling when you wake up tired? I didn't have that. Usually I grab my phone immediately, check messages, social media, everything. But this time I didn't. I just stayed in bed for like 2 minutes, looking at the ceiling. No noise, no rush. Then I got up slowly, went to the kitchen, made coffee, and I really took my time with it. I didn't rush. I didn't think about work. I didn't think about anything stressful. I just stood there, making coffee, listening to the water, small sounds, and it felt peaceful. Then I sat down with my coffee, no phone, just drinking it slowly. And I remember thinking, I should do this more often.
Did you go out after that?
Yeah, and this part was probably my favorite. After coffee, I felt like moving a little, not a workout, just moving. So I put on simple clothes, nothing special: t shirt, shorts, sneakers. And I went outside. The weather was perfect. Not too hot, not cold, just fresh. I started walking slowly, not in a rush, no destination. There's a small park near my house, so I walked there. At first, I had my headphones on, listening to music, but after a few minutes, I took them off and I just listened to everything around me: people talking, dogs barking, kids playing, cars passing. And it felt real. I wasn't thinking about work, I wasn't thinking about problems. I was just there, walking. At one point, I sat down on a bench and I just watched people, not in a weird way, just observing. There was this old man walking slowly, a couple talking and laughing, a kid running with his dog. And I don't know, it made me feel calm. Like life is simple. We just make it complicated sometimes. I stayed there about maybe 10 minutes. Then I stood up and walked back. The whole walk was around 30 minutes, but it felt longer in a good way. And after that, I came back home and I was hungry, but not in a rush. So I made breakfast: eggs, toast, and some fruit. And again, I didn't rush. I took my time. I cooked slowly. I sat down. I ate without my phone. And that's something I almost never do. Usually, I'm watching something, scrolling, but this time, nothing, just eating. And it felt different. I could actually taste the food. It sounds simple, I know, but it's true. Did you do anything else at home? Yeah, I cleaned my place, but not like I have to do this. More like I want this to look better. I started with my room, made the bed, organized my desk, put things in order, then the kitchen, washed the dishes, cleaned the table, and while I was doing it, I played some music again. But the difference was this: I wasn't rushing. I wasn't thinking, I need to finish fast. I was just doing it, step by step. And when I finished, everything looked clean, simple, clear, and I felt lighter. Did you use your phone during all this? Yeah, but not too much. I checked messages, replied to some people, watched maybe a few videos, but I didn't fall into that trap, you know, where you scroll for an hour without noticing. This time I was aware. I would watch something and then stop, put the phone down, go back to what I was doing. Not perfect, but better. So, what happened around midday? Around 12, I felt like going out. Not to do something big, just change environment. So I grabbed my phone and called a friend. Very simple. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Nothing much." And I said, "Let's go eat something?" And he said, "Yes." No big plan, no stress. And you went out. Yeah, we met like 20 minutes later. We went to a small place, nothing fancy, just burgers and fries. We sat down, ordered food, and started talking. At first, normal stuff: work, how the week was. But then the conversation got deeper. We talked about life, about things we want to do, things we are not doing, mistakes, and it felt real. No distractions, no phone on the table, just talking, listening, sometimes laughing, sometimes being serious. And that's something I miss because now people are always on their phones. But this felt different. How long were you there? I think like 2 hours, maybe more. But we didn't notice. And that's how you know it was good, right? Because when you are bored, you check the time every 5 minutes. But here, we didn't care. Did you go home after that? Not immediately. We walked a bit. No plan again, just walking and talking. Different topics, some funny stories, some memories. And it felt simple but real. What did you feel in that moment? Honestly, I felt present. Like I was actually living the moment. No thinking about the next thing. And I realized something. You don't need something big to have a good day. You just need to be there. So, what happened after you said goodbye to your friend? After that, I walked back home and I didn't feel tired. It's the first thing I noticed. Usually, when I go out, I feel drained after, like I need to lie down or just scroll on my phone. But this time it was different. I got home maybe around 4:30 p.m. and I didn't go straight to my phone. I just sat down for a moment. I remember looking around my place. Everything was clean from the morning, and it felt comfortable. Not just clean, but calm. Did you rest a bit? Yeah, but not in that lazy way. You know, when you lie down and just scroll for hours? It wasn't like that. I sat on the couch, I put on some light music, and I just relaxed. No pressure to do something, no feeling of I'm wasting time. And that's new for me because before, if I wasn't doing something productive, I felt bad. But now I see rest as something important too. What about Saturday night? Did you go out? No, and I didn't feel like I needed to. Before, I used to think if I don't go out on Saturday, I'm missing something. But now I don't feel that. So I stayed home. I made something light to it, nothing big, just something quick. Then I watched a movie, that's all. What kind of movie? Something simple, not too heavy. I didn't want to think too much, just relax. And again, I didn't use my phone while watching it. That's something I noticed this weekend. I was more present. What time did you sleep? Around 11:30. Not super early, not late either. But the difference was this. My mind was calm. No stress, no overthinking. Usually at night, I think about everything: work, problems, things I need to do. But that night, nothing. I just felt quiet and I slept well. All right, what about Sunday? Sunday was even slower. I woke up a bit later, around 8:30. And again, no alarm, no rush. The first thing I did? Nothing. I stayed in bed for a few minutes, just waking up slowly. Then I got up, made coffee again, same as Saturday. But this time it felt even more natural. Did you use your phone this time? A little, yes, but not too much. I checked a few messages, but I didn't stay there. I went back to my coffee, sat down, and just enjoyed the moment. And it sounds simple, but most people don't do that. They wake up and immediately go into stress. Did you think about the week or anything like that? A little, yes, but not in a stressful way. More like, what do I want to do this week? What do I have to do? No, I didn't think that. And that small change makes a big difference because one feels heavy and the other feels open. Did you do anything during the day? Yeah, normal stuff. But I paid attention to it. I did laundry, cleaned a few things, organized some stuff. I didn't finish on Saturday. Nothing exciting, but I wasn't rushing. That's the key. I was just doing one thing at a time. And that makes everything feel easier. Did you go out again? Yeah, but just for a bit. In the afternoon, I felt like going outside again. So I went for another walk. Shorter this time, maybe 20 minutes. No headphones, just walking. And I noticed something. When you slow down, you start seeing things you normally ignore, small details, people, sounds. And it makes the day feel fuller. What about Sunday evening? That's when I started thinking about Monday. But again, not in a stressful way. I prepared a few things, clothes, some food, just the small things to make Monday easier. And that helped a lot because when you prepare a little, you don't feel overwhelmed later. Did you relax at night? Yeah, but I did something different. I stayed away from my phone a bit more. Usually Sunday night, I just scroll a lot and then I feel bad. But this time, I watched something light for a bit. Then I just sat quietly, no noise, and I let the weekend end slowly. So, how did you feel at the end of the weekend? Honestly, I felt ready, not tired, not stressed, just ready. And that doesn't happen often. Usually, Sunday night feels heavy, like I don't want Monday. But this time it was different. Why do you think it felt different? Because I was present. I didn't rush. I didn't try to do much. I just did simple things. But I actually paid attention to them. And I think that's the difference. We always think a good weekend needs to be big, trips, parties, something exciting. But honestly, a good weekend is just when you feel good doing normal things, when you're not stressed, when you're not rushing, when you're actually there. And I realized something. It's not about doing more, it's about being there in what you are already doing. Because if you can enjoy simple moments, you don't need a perfect life to feel good. Congratulations! To continue improving your English skills, click on the next video or watch our full list of videos.